So pretty much every day I like to check all of the different streaming services to see if they just randomly drop some horror film. And honestly, almost every day I find something somewhere. But that doesn't mean I either watch it, or if I do, I finish it. Or if I do finish it, it's even good. But this is something that I do constantly. And today I went on Tubi and I found a film called The Decedent. And I was like, okay, I feel like I've seen a post about this recently ish. Let me click on this. Let me see what it is. It's from 2025. And I see that the person who wrote and directed it was Andrew Bowser. Now, for those of you who don't know who Andrew Bowser is, he is the guy who plays a character named Onyx the Fortuitous. He actually made a movie using that character called Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, which we reviewed, I think, last year. I think it was 2024. And it was damn good, actually. It was actually much better than I would have expected. You'll have to look up the character. It's kind of hard to explain. It was like a YouTube kind of almost meme or like joke video that was made a while ago, and then he kind of made a character out of it, and then eventually made a movie out of it. And I actually just saw him at Mad Monster. Nah, not this one, but the one previous to it. And I almost walked up to him and said hi and that I loved his movie, but he seemed busy and I just didn't want to bother him. Anyway, moving on from that. The Decedent is a found footage movie, which was like, oh shit, he made a found footage movie? Uh, I'm all in. So I watched it. Let's talk about it. So this is about a funeral home, and the young woman and her father own the place. It's a family establishment, and she is staying after hours to work on facial reconstruction on a suicide victim. And while she's there, she finds something, and things start to get uh, scary. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what word to use there. But yeah, that's all you need to know. Yeah. So as you guys know, I'm a big found footage fan. So this is absolutely aimed at me, and I really enjoyed Andrew's previous film, so I was all for this one going into it, and I can say that I am very happy with this film. I think this was damn good. So if you're a big found footage fan, this is a huge win for 2025, and Andrew, impresses yet again. I didn't know he had this in him, but now after these two films in a row, I won't doubt him. I didn't doubt him honestly this film because of how good Onyx was, and how like I just didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, he's making a movie from that character. That could be so stupid. As soon as a character becomes popular, they always want to try to make a movie out of it, and to varying results, of course. But with this one, one of the things that I absolutely is like paramount to found footage. I talk about this all the time. I know at this point, a lot of you can just kind of say it with me. It's the believability of the characters. It's the authenticity, the verisimilitude, if you want to get real fucking technical about it. That to me is like everything when it comes to these movies. Not always, right? There are exceptions that just are so good in other areas. I don't really care that the acting is not good, but I thought that the acting from our lead here was excellent, and I thought she was very natural and very realistic. Andrew is in this movie. He does play a character. It is not Onyx the Fortuitous. He very much plays like a normal guy, and he's in it quite a bit, and he's very good in it, as is the actor who plays the father of the main character. He was very good, and their relationship felt very authentic and genuine, and endeared me to them as this family dynamic with that owns a business. And the first like 15 or 20 minutes is just really kind of setting up their relationship and them as characters, and they really took that time to get us to know them and like them, and I was very thankful for that. And I think they were very successful in it. So, yeah, and another thing, one of the things that I really, really liked about Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls is that there was some fucking great practical effects that really surprised me. Some of the best from last year. And a movie like that, I just never expected to see really anything. And if we did, I thought it would be like cheap CG or something. And it wasn't. It was really, really good practical work for the most part. And I was like, wow, okay, that's awesome and shocking. So I kind of expected it to roll over here. And while I don't think anywhere near as much money was put into effects in this movie, there is definitely some gore in this. And some effects, and some of them are, one in particular is actually pretty nasty, and definitely is going to have some people clutching at themselves, just like, oh no, God, gross, no, holy shit. Yeah, so that's like one of the last scenes of the movie. Of course, they're building to that, and it's fucked up. That's a fucked up scene for sure. And yeah, I mean, yeah, as far as like, little discrepancies and whatnot, if I want to be like super, super nitpicky, this is like silly, but I kept noticing it throughout the film. So like, this whole thing is shot through security cameras, as well as like a GoPro and like some body cameras. So all of the shots and everything are legit. No issues there as far as like, where did that angle come from, and oh no, they did the stupid thing where they're doing hybrid where they like, none of that stuff happened. I can say from what I could tell, everything made sense camera wise. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Andrew, for that. But one super stupid thing, this isn't even really worth mentioning, but I want to, anyway, security cams constantly show the time. Like they'll do these like breaks and then you'll show the time. And then there's these clocks on the wall that you can see throughout the movie, and the time on them. There's like one that said it was like 3:30 when it was supposed to be like midnight, and the other one was like 8 a.m. or p.m. whatever. It was just like a hand clock. And it was 8 o'clock, and it was supposed to be like 12:30, whatever. It was super like little things like that. I'm like, you got to pay attention to those little details when you're making films like this. Doesn't matter at all. That's like, as I said, that's super, super nitpicky. But regardless, the things that were kind of annoying a bit, I'm not a big fan, as you guys know, if you watch the channel enough, of distortion. I hate when it's overused, and it's a bit overused here. I don't think it's egregious. I don't think that it distracts from the film too much, but there were times when it was agitating me. Now, one good caveat to that, though, is that it never really felt like it was being used to hide anything, right? Like, typically when a film is really low budget and they don't have the budget to show something on screen, they'll cop out by inserting distortion. Like, oh, it's just the energy from the ghosts and they're fucking up the, magnetism of the tape or whatever bullshit, right? It's all just an excuse to hide the fact that you can't afford to show the kill or show the monster or show whatever. That didn't seem to really be the case here. Like, it did seem to sort of have a purpose, but I just felt it was a bit overused in places. Another thing here is that there is some music used. That's not a big deal breaker for me per se. It's just, as a found footage enthusiast, I definitely prefer them not to use music. But yeah, I couldn't figure out a reason why it was in it other than just to startle you or whatever, right? So I would prefer it to not be here, but at the same time, scenes probably would be more effective for certain audiences. I think some audiences don't even notice it, don't even care, right? And that music kind of adds that next layer to it, but to the scene. But for me, if you're doing found footage, unless it's mockumentary, right? Unless the tapes have been edited, and we know that beforehand, that they've been compiled in a way, and it's like, sometimes people are like, it's the police. It's like, this is compiled by police, by the police for your consideration or whatever. Fuck. In those situations, it's like, okay, I don't know why the police would be adding music to try to scare whoever's watching, right? That's not the case here. Like, this just seems to be footage that's found after the fact. So yeah, the music just isn't justifiable, but I don't really care. It's not a big problem for me. I also really like, I loved the acting from almost everybody, but there's a couple characters that come in towards the end. One of them in particular, I just wasn't really caring for their performance much. I think that they may have been asked to do something out of their range. They were trying to like be a tough guy, and it was like, this is not a tough guy, like, at all. So maybe they tried their best, but for me, I wasn't quaking in my boots. But I don't know. At the same time, I guess the character is just kind of winging it. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I still didn't like the performance there. Honestly, from either of them, you'll know who I'm talking about when they get to those characters. But one is definitely better than the other, mostly because there was a scene where they ask a lot from them. It's the brutal scene that I was referring to, and yeah, they give it their all there. So I can't take away from their performance on that side of things. And I think they're actually probably fine throughout, but the other one, not so much. So yeah, like, a little bit of, I swear I'm not doing 6, 7. I swear to God. My kids, every time I do this now, because I do, like, I'll talk about something, I'll be like, well, and I like balance the scales, and it's fucking 6, 7, 6, 7. My kids do this every 5 seconds now. But yeah, I think that I don't even remember what the fuck I was going to say now. I got so distracted, and the fact that it's 2:12 a.m. I just finished this movie, and I wanted to talk about it because I really enjoyed the hell out of it. But yeah, I think just kind of like, overall, this was a really solid found footage film. Somewhat reminded me a little bit of The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Somewhat. Little bit. Mostly just because it takes place, in this setting and all of that. So, and there's some similarities, some. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked the kind of like little lore that they set up in it. And I like this use of like a mask, I guess is what we'll call it. I thought that was a really neat idea. Also, I'm not a mortician. I do not work in a funeral home. I used to talk to a chick who did years ago, when I kind of first started the channel, and she was going to school to become a mortician. And anyway, this felt like this was definitely filmed in a real funeral home. And they do talk about a decent amount of terminology and whatnot in here, and show you kind of the practices and verbiage and all that kind of stuff. And from what I could tell, it all felt very authentic. So good on them for that. That felt like some good attention to detail there. So maybe if for some reason you know anything about morticianing, then that felt realistic, at least. If it isn't, let me know, and I bought it. So good on them for tricking me. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed a lot of it. I think there's a lot put into this. I think this is, so much found footage is lazy. Just, you think that you can make it because it's easy, right? Like, I think that's the misconception of found footage horror. It's like, oh, just grab a fucking camera and open a cabinet slowly and back and forth, and have the characters be like, what was that? And you got a movie. No, fuck no, that's not even remotely close to true. These movies take just as much, if not more, thought and consideration, as any fucking film. Not any film, but you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot that and much like any other kind of film, there's so many that fail for a reason. They're fucking hard to make. Any subgenre, any genre, anything is hard to make, right? And I think found footage is really, really fucking hard to make well. So, because people don't have any fucking experience when they're making it typically, and because they don't have any money, and so they have to pull out all the talent that they have at their disposal and put it on display in order to compensate for what they're lacking. And I think this one succeeds tremendously. So anyway, I've talked for a long time. It is way longer than I expected it to be, but I was just very excited because every year I'm always looking for an underrated hidden gem found footage film, and this year has been really lacking. There has been a couple now, thank God. We're getting late into the year, and I think Strange Frequency was the first one that I saw that I really liked. I'm pretty sure that was the first one, and since then I've seen maybe three others that I quite liked. So it's been kind of a light, lax year so far. We're in November, so we're nearing the end. But this was a huge hidden gem for me. This is a big find. I mean, I shouldn't say hidden gem because it fucking literally just came out. I think it might have just came out today or yesterday. So, or this week for sure. So I was impressed. I think that if you guys know me and you know your tastes, and hopefully I got you to press play. It's on Tubi. It's fucking free. What you got to lose? If you're a found footage fan, get on this one quick. It's awesome. It's really damn good. It's got some issues here and there. I could change a couple little things, but other than that, check it out. Andrew Bowser, big win, buddy, yet again. And next time I see you, I'm gonna come up and talk to you. I should have last time. But if for some reason you do watch this review, leave a comment, and I'd love to talk to you privately, DM, whatever. Anyway, that's that. Check out his movie, The Decedent, which I didn't talk about really quick for any of you who don't know, which is probably most of you, because I didn't know. When I read this, I was like, the what? I read it as The Decadent. And then I was like, oh, that's not how you spell decadent. Then I was like, The Descendant? And I was like, no, that's not how that's fucking spelled either. Obviously, there's an S in there. I was like, what am I missing? I was like, so I had to literally Google this and then like listen to it. They do talk about it in the film, sort of. Like, they say the word in the film. But it is a, like, legal term for a dead person. Like, if you talk about them in legal paperwork, they're referred to as the decedent. So I'd never heard that before. That was new to me. I've watched a lot of movies about a lot of dead bodies. I've probably heard it in a film before, right? But it never stuck in my mind. Now it's blue car syndrome, right? I'm gonna fucking hear it in every movie that I watch that deals with a dead body. They're gonna be like, the decedent, the decedent, the decedent. Anyway, that's that. All right, guys. Bye.